All right, another day, another me recording outside my studio because I was kicked out because I recorded too late, and my daughter is currently sleeping in my office, which is her bedroom. So I'm out here right now in my kitchen setup as I also try to meal prep for tomorrow and hopefully not burn the house down while cooking and podcast recording at the same time. Genius idea. I know, novel, really. So I really didn't have enough time today to go over the offensive line the way I wanted to. So I will not be doing the outline today. I'll probably do that tomorrow. We'll go over guys like Joe Alt. So for today, let's go over a few teams. We'll look back at what the Giants and the Jets have done and for agency through 2 days. Take a look at the Philadelphia Eagles and the Buffalo Bills. So let's go first to also I will do a mock draft as the New York Giants and Jets, just round one, see what's changed since the start of free agency. So the New York Giants, again, using Madden's ratings here. This is not how I see them, but this is just an easy way to get a visual aid on what they currently have, right? So Daniel Jones, still the starting quarterback. They did sign Drew Lock to be QB2. Behind that, again, Illuminor is not going to start at right tackle, most likely. That's probably going to be Evan Neal. Nothing really changed so far since yesterday outside of Drew Lock. They're still quite weak at the receiving core in terms of star power. Darius Slayton, Wanda Robinson, good players. Jalen High, good players. So I do think that they will probably still look to add a receiver in the draft. On the defensive side, they are good. What is that? Is that my dog? Lexi, stop that shit. Sorry. On the defensive side, again, nothing really has changed. They signed Mills, so now their safety duo is not terrible going into the draft, so they don't have to address it if they don't feel the value is there. They probably need another interior defensive player to go along with Dexter Lawrence, but right now they're looking pretty solid on defense, but they can definitely use definitely another corner to pair with Deontay Banks, because Cordell Flott's going to play in the slot. But right now the Giants are in a good spot, right? When you are planning for the draft, you want to go into the draft not having any needs, right? You may have this of want where you want to get better at a spot, but you don't want to go into a draft and go, if I don't draft at X position, no one's going to be there. And you don't want that, because then you end up reaching and taking a guy much higher than he should be taken, which leads to disaster. As Steve Palazzolo once said at PFF, players don't bust, teams bust. And I agree with that statement. More often than not, it's the team overvaluing a player, not the player underperforming. On to the New York Jets. The Jets tackle situation is still pretty dire with Warren and Mitchell at the tackle spots. Decolis is a good player, but probably not one they're going to want to throw out there as a starter week one. For the receivers, it's Garrett Wilson's amazing. I like Gibson, but I don't know if they're going to roll with Lazard. They probably will because he's Aaron's boy. But they need kind of like the New York Giants receiver help, but they also need more tackle help than the New York Giants do at this point. And then on the defensive side, they actually added a bunch of D tackles in Fotu and Kinlaw. So now their defensive line is pretty set. I don't think they have to do really any work here. Will McDonald still has to see what he can do. He played some snaps last year, but not enough. I even didn't flash enough to make you feel like he deserves a starting spot in week one. But right now that defensive line is pretty good. It's pretty deep. Their linebackers are set. Again, their safeties are solid, not great, and their corners are pretty good. Honestly, the Jets defense looks ready to roll. This team is not that far away. It's just you need to shore up those tackle spots. You need to shore them up, and then you have to get a receiver. Don't let Aaron out there with nobody. Onto the next team, the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles and the Giants are feuding. Shocker to absolutely fucking nobody. With Saquon Barkley now going there, and some weird non-beef between him and Tiki Barber, where Tiki tongue-in-cheek said, like, you're dead to us, which he was kidding. Saquon kind of, it is what it is. But Giants, I don't think Giants fans feel that way about Saquon Barkley. It's he's not dead to us. We don't want him to do well as an Eagle. But I don't think there's any ill will towards Saquon Barkley. He was always a great New York Giant, and he was always a good guy. So I can't imagine that. The issue with the Philadelphia Eagles, though, is the interior offensive line now with Jason Kelce gone. Now there's Cam Jurgens and Matt Hennessy are your two guys in the middle, which they extended Dickerson, which is good, and Mailata and Johnson are great. But that middle of the line is rough, and I don't know if you can do that tush push without Jason Kelce. We're gonna have to see how that works. But like Jason Kelce was a massive part of the tush push. So we'll see if that's still as effective as it was in 2023 and 2024. So we'll take a look at that. On the defensive side, there's going to be some shakeup. Right now, they're stacked. Again, no shocker. But the question is Hassan Reddick and Josh Sweat still on the team in a couple of days? Because right now they are being allowed to shop their talent to other teams, and it'll probably end up being Huff and Aquara and Smith as the starters instead of Sweat and Reddick. It seems that they're not going to be on the team at the start of the 2024 season, which I would argue they are probably the two best edge rushers in this team. So the edge rushers are going to be weaker in 2024 than they were in 2023. The corners are solid, and they added CJ Gardner-Johnson, who's a strong safety / slot guy. So the defense is not bad. It's still very good. It's still a top 5 to 10 defense, but it's definitely weaker than it was in 2023. We'll see what Vic Fangio can do with this team, which, he's a great defensive coordinator, so it might be fine. On to the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills, man, have had a rough time this offseason. Right now, it's Stephon Diggs and Shakir and Hamler as your receivers, which is not great. Obviously Diggs is great, but I'm also not even sure Stephon Diggs is going to be there. Like there was talks about him being traded at one point, so we'll see. Their running back depth is rough at the moment, and their offensive line is okay-ish. Like it's not bad. No, they re-signed Edwards, so I think they're probably moving McGovern to center. But this is not the same team that we predicted for 13 wins last year. It's just not. It's just not the same team that it was last year. With that insane depth of talent. This offensive line is going to be weaker in 2023 or 2024. My apologies. On the defense, they definitely need safety help, man. They went from having the best safety tandem in Hyde and Poyer to now wrapping DeMar Hamlin. You can't imagine they're rolling out DeMar Hamlin as their starting free safety to start the year. Their linebackers are okay. Honestly, as long as you have Matt Milano healthy, you're fine. The defensive line is okay. Hopefully Von Miller comes back and plays like Von Miller. And that secondary without Trey White is much weaker. So you're looking at this Bills team is not the same Bills team. Honestly, if Aaron Rodgers can come back and play close to what Aaron Rodgers was in Green Bay, the Jets have a real shot at winning this division. And same thing, Miami's also a little bit weaker. This is a much tighter division this year than last year. But when I say tighter, we had projected preseason before Aaron got hurt. Buffalo being at 13 wins, I think, and it was Miami at 12 and the Jets at 12. Obviously, Miami and Buffalo fought all into the end for a playoff spot for the AFC title. Obviously, Aaron getting hurt removed the Jets pretty quick. This year, I think they're going to be the same thing, just shrink the wins down to like projections more around 11 to 10 wins. So Bills and Eagles, not as dominant going into this year. They were our top two teams going into 2023. I don't think they're going to be the top two teams going into 2024. They're still quite good. I still think they're probably the favorites to win their divisions, but I don't think they're going to be the runaway favorites that they were last year. So let's do a mock draft real quick. I know this is a short episode. I apologize. We're trying to get everything done today, and it's just long. And my dog is fucking licking her asshole right next to me when she woke the fuck up. Love my dog. She's the best. But like, it's just the cherry on top of the Sunday that is today. So let's do a mock real quick for the New York Giants and New York Jets. Just one round. So let's do this. I'm only going to play the rest of it. Let's see how. I'll put it on slow so we can see how this goes. All right, that's too slow. Caleb Williams goes. Drake May goes. Wow, Drake May goes too. Okay, that's fine. Marvin Harrison to New England. Okay, Malik Neighbors to Arizona, and then Romeo Dunze. Wow, that would be a ridiculous run on receivers there, but that means Jaden Daniels is available at pick 6, and Jaden Daniels is a phenomenal player. Right now, initially he was my QB2, and it seems like he's a lot of people's QB2 at this point. If the Giants are sitting at 6 and Jaden Daniels falls to 6, I'm taking Jaden Daniels, especially with those receivers being gone. Now Brock Bowers has gone at 7. Cooper DeJean, that's way too high for Cooper DeJean. Joe Alt, and then Joe Alt, that kind of sucks because Joe Alt would have been the favorite, right? It has to be line help. I'll look at what fans have been wanting. Looks like the tackle out of Oregon State. And I have not watched him yet. He's on the to-do list for this week. So we'll go with him. That's fine with me. I think he was also the pick for the Sunday night draft too. So not a lot has changed for the Jets. The Giants, a lot has changed. I don't think they take Joe Alt anymore. As much as I love Joe Alt and I think he's the best tackle in this class, I would say you get your receiver now. Obviously, in this situation, all 3 receivers are gone by 6, which I do not see happening. Sometimes the PFF mock draft simulator is a little unrealistic in terms of how it views other teams, which it's just PFF sometimes lives in its own little world. But if that's the way it falls for the Giants, Jaden Daniels is going to be the pick. And if Jaden Daniels is taken and it's one of those receivers available, he'll be one of those receivers. I think if I projecting into the New York Giants, I think their board looks like Caleb Williams at 1, which they're not going to get. Jaden Daniels is 2. Marvin Harrison is 3. Blake Neighbors is 4. Drake May is 5. If I had to guess. And I think they'll be happy if any of those guys fall to them. And then at 6 is probably JJ McCarthy. If I had to guess. All right. That is, we don't have to look at my grade. I know I have an A. No shit. So again, this is a super short podcast today. We'll be at fucking 13 minutes or something like that. So I apologize for it being so short. But tomorrow will be more offensive line. We'll get a bit deeper into it. I will hopefully not be recording from my kitchen table, but like who fucking knows at this point? I might be. Hopefully I won't be recording at fucking midnight. That's what I really don't want to do. I'm fucking shot, man. So day 2. Let's just do a quick day 2 roundup. It's just get everyone caught up on what happened today. Honestly, get myself caught up on what happened today because it was, again, a long ass day for me. So let's take a look at Ari. I have no idea how to pronounce Ari's last name. Mirov. He worked for PFF, but after I was gone. So yeah, the CJ Gardner-Johnson deal to Eagles we already talked about. The Josh Uche deal was fucking cheap, man. Back to the Pats for like $3 million. The Kinlaw deal is $7.25 million for 1 year. That's it there. Oh, that's right. I forgot. But that's what the Texans signed Danielle Hunter for 2 years, $49 million. And then that Steelers trade with the Panthers. Steelers trade. Hi, Lexi. The Steelers trade Deontay Johnson. Now she's in my lap. The Steelers trade Deontay Johnson, the 7th round pick, to the Panthers for Dante Jackson, the cornerback, and the 6th round pick. So they had Russell Wilson. They took away one of their one of his guys, one of his weapons. That's good stuff. Honestly, I don't get it. It's okay. DJ Dallas, the Cardinals signed former Seahawks running back DJ Dallas. That's right. The Giants got Isaiah McKenzie, who's probably number 3 receiver right now. But I know probably going into it, number 3 receiver, but I have a lot of faith in Jalen Hyatt to be a starting receiver for the Giants starting week 1. The Dolphins signed Jordan Boyer. That's right. I forgot about that. That's a big one. That's a double whammy, right? If you're the Dolphins, you get Jordan Boyer, and plus, he's now no longer a Bill. Debo Samuel changed his jersey number. I don't really care about that. Jeremy Chinn's going to Washington. I do want to give a shout out to Jim Nagy real quick. Jim Nagy, granted, he was definitely, it definitely helped that Jeremy Chinn was going to the Senior Bowl, but he went on a limb and he said Jeremy Chinn was better than Isaiah Simmons. And so far in his career, he's right. So, shout out to Jim Nagy there for being right there. Chiefs signed Irv Smith to a fucking $1 million deal, man. That is cheap as fuck. Noah Brown goes back to the Texans for $5 million. Commanders signed Cleveland Farrell to a 1-year deal for $3 million. But we haven't even gotten to Wednesday at noon where the league year actually starts, and we're already at like the 3rd round of free agency. We're getting to the fucking like vet minimum deals already. That's insane. That we're already there. It's like Kenny Moore gets a $30 million over 3 years. Nice slot corner over there. The Cowboys have done absolutely fucking nothing. Chargers tight end Gerald Everett goes to the Bears. Punter news, it's great. Shelby Harris resigned with the Browns. Right, the Patrick Queen news. Patrick Queen goes to Pittsburgh, goes to a rival. Seriously, no, he's done that. Now they're dead to him, right? 3 years, $41 million is a great deal, but I don't know if Patrick Queen is that good. I think he's very good, but I do think Roquan Smith made him better. Now that he's all by himself, he's the alpha. We'll see how he does at Pittsburgh. Derrick Henry's a Raven. That was probably the most expected move in this entire free agency was Derrick Henry becoming a Raven. That's going to be fun to watch. The Vikings signed Aaron Jones. The Bengals traded Joe Mixon to the Texans. The Browns signed Jameis Winston. Joe Flacco goes back into retirement, I believe. Commanders signed Marcus Mariota. The Bengals signed Mike Gesicki. Dolphins signed Shaq Barrett. The Falcons signed Darnell Mooney. That's a sneaky good signing. That is a sneaky good signing, man. The Falcons continue to get good. Man, I'm pumped to see what Zach Robinson can do with this team, man. I really am. Eagles signed Zach Bond. Yeah. All right. So this is this is not my normal camera, so I can't point it down, but there's a lab in my lap right now. This is there was something, I feel like there was something else I wanted to say and is now eluded me because there's a giant dog in my fucking lap. Oh yeah, let's take a look at the top free agents. We'll use PFF in terms of free agent rankings. Let's see if there's any of these guys that are left that we feel good about. Hunter's already gone. Tyron Smith, is he still available? Let's see. Let's take a look at Ari's list and just double check because sometimes the PFF list takes longer to update. Tyron Smith. Tyron Smith is still quite good. He's still like a top 5 tackle in this league. I know he's injury prone, but like when he's playing, he's incredible. Calvin Ridley still available. Calvin Ridley was projected to get like a $17 million a year contract, and right now it looks like that's not happening. Michael Wenu is, I think, going to be re-signed by the Pats. Let's see who else is here. Kendall Fuller still available. Leonard Williams is re-signed. Hollywood Brown is still available. So there is still. This is where it becomes interesting. Right? There are a bunch of receivers still left. Do they go to teams for like 1 year $7 million, 1 year $10 million? Because I'd absolutely hop on Calvin Ridley 1 year $10 million. It was the multiple years 17. I forgot what Brad had the projection at. I'm gonna take a look at the projection real quick because it made me like a little sick. 3 years, $18.5 million average, 32.75 guaranteed. Yeah, there's no way. And Marquise Brown was projected at 1 year, $12 million. I don't know if that's happening anymore, man. Like, it's crazy that we're already into like these vet minimum deals. So we'll see what happens with these free agents as we get into the league year. And we still haven't had the Chargers, perform what we all expect to be like just an insane cap cut. Because there's no way Mike Williams and Keenan Allen are both on this team to start 2024. This is not. They're both owed over $30 million to get the cap next year. And the Chargers, even with the bump in the cap, is like $25 million over the cap. So there's going to be moves. There's going to be moved by the Chargers. So free agency is most definitely not over, but it is incredible how fast we've already gone. I'll be back next week, probably with my dog over there, to talk about offensive line. We'll talk about Joe Alt, talk about the offensive linemen in this draft. There's a lot of them projected to be out 6 or 7 in the first round, and I think that's probably right. But for Matt Stopsky, this is the F1 podcast. I will see you all tomorrow.